Hi there, welcome to Wb Fine Woodworking. I'm Don. This is shop update for February 15th, 2019. As you can see, I have one of my tool hangers in my window. You can see how it is hinged. Just got this up. I still need to do a little planing up in this corner. It's still a little tight up there, but other than that, it's ready to go. I can put some French cleats on this and start putting tool hangers on it. So we'll see how that goes. Has a nice piano hinge over here for stability. And reason I'm making this is so that I can clean the windows and I can also open them on real nice days. It's a little cool today outside, but during the spring and fall, it's really nice in here with the windows open. And since I don't have air conditioning during the summer, I have to have them open. So this particular project is coming along. I have the second frame sanded and ready to install the hinge. And the third one is clamped up and glued up and ready to go. So these will be coming up pretty soon. I still need to cut the French cleats. I'm going to use some red oak for the French cleats to match the frames. I decided not to go with the walnut like I did over here. It really gets covered up and it's a lot more expensive. As those of you who have been following along know, I've been working on a workbench. I'm working on the base of it first. I have the mortises cut in the legs. These are the mortises for the end stretchers or the end rails, whichever one you want to call them. And I also have the tenons cut in the cross pieces or the rails or the stretchers, whatever you want to call them. And they're ready to go, almost ready for glue up. I have to do some other things to the legs before I'm ready to glue them up, but as you can see, I've got a pretty tight cut. That fits really well in the tenon fits really well in the mortise, and I'm going to show you in a video how I got these tenons to fit so perfectly in these mortises. I have something that to show you in another video that will show you, and in fact I'll mention it in a few minutes in this video what I've used. But I have the tenons all cut. Speaking of the workbench, this is the stretcher or the front skirt, whatever you want to call it, that will go on the workbench. It's 1 3/4 inch walnut, a little more than 6 feet long at this point, probably closer to 8 feet long. The part of the chop for the front vise is going to be here, the twin screw vise, and the chop for the tail vise is back here. What I'm trying to do is center this nice piece of figure in the section that's between the two chops. So I have this all laid out and ready to go onto the chop saw so that I can chop off the tail vise, and this will go in the front of the workbench. Obviously this edge is rough, so that'll have to be cleaned up. The other thing I need to do is I need to check with Veritas and see how wide this particular part of the chop needs to be. I know I'm going to have to add something to the bottom of this to make this part wide enough. So I need to check with them to see how wide this part of the chop needs to be. I'm going to have a 3-inch top on the workbench. So I'm going to be sending off an email to them and finding out how much I need to add over there. Now that I have that big piece of walnut moved out of the way, I can show you what was sort of hiding behind it. This is a tenoning jig. Now I know some of you make your own. Some of you have those old cast iron ones. I have one from Grizzly. And I use that. I've also used the bandsaw. This thing is fantastic. This thing is super. I don't know about you, but tenons are not my favorite thing. I can cut the mortises really nice with my hollow chisel mortiser, but tenons have been one of my nemesis. This thing, I was able to cut the tenons and fit perfectly right off the saw. Well, I have to break in here and say that I just discovered some disturbing news about this Powermatic tenoning jig. I was going to do a video on it and show you all about it and show how it's used. And evidently they've been discontinued, or at least they're out of stock everywhere. And one of the websites I checked even said it was a discontinued item. So I don't know, you might want to be on the lookout for Powermatic in reintroducing this particular jig somewhere along the line, because this was a fantastic jig, just the best that I've seen for cutting tenons on the table saw. So a little bit of disturbing news that I just discovered when I went in to edit this video. Well, you can see I am making some progress out here in the shop. I don't get out here every day. My wife and I, when we have beautiful weather like we have right now, tend to go out and do something to get some exercise, to get out and walk around in the beautiful sunshine. Right now I'm looking out the window at beautiful blue skies, puffy clouds. We just had a rainstorm for several days. Of course, you're getting snow from the rainstorms that we've had. It has been pretty rainy here in Southern California. But we did find a day and actually went to Disneyland. We hadn't been to Disneyland, I can't tell you the last time we were there, and had a great time together. So there are some things that I do outside the shop, and I'm sorry that sometimes I don't get enough videos out because we're out doing something else. Before I go, I want to recommend to you, if you haven't read Mike Pekovich's book, The Why and How of Woodworking, this is outstanding. Mike's an outstanding woodworker to start with, and of course I like his arts and crafts style that he does. But just the first 2 chapters of this book alone are excellent, worth the price to me for what the book costs. So this is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. Mike Pekovich, The Why and How of Woodworking. So if you haven't read that, I suggest it to you. Thank you all very much for subscribing to my channel and viewing my videos. I greatly appreciate it. I hope all of you are getting something out of these videos, and I thank you very much for watching. There's 2 links over here for videos that you might not have watched, so you might want to watch those. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can just click on the logo that's over here behind me. Thank you all again.